Hey guys, Boris Schlossberg from BKT. Great to be back. I'm back in the USA after my whirlwind tour around the world. Shout out to all the new friends I made in Hong Kong. I absolutely love being in Asia. And I think it was really interesting this week that while Kathy and I were on the opposite sides of the globe, we were still able to manage and trade relatively successfully because the methodology behind the BKT trading, the idea of never ever letting winners turn into losers, really proved itself to be so strong this week as we had a couple of very good trades. And the first trade we had, of course, was the Kiwi dollar trade, where we went short the pair as usual around 5 o'clock East Coast time, basically on the idea that the trade balance was going to be weak. The economic calendar, which we have available for BKT members, basically showed to us that the data was likely going to miss to the downside. We got short the pair, and of course made T1, made our first target right away as the news came out, and we're able to bank some profits. This was the news event right here. We're able to bank profits, went to break even, and then I basically, once Kathy went to sleep, and for me being in Asia, I actually was able to manage the trade during daytime for the first time ever, unlike when I do it in the US when I'm managing it during nighttime. I really tried to control the stops to make sure that we weren't too close and weren't going to get retraced out of the trade. Really try to milk the trade. Bottom line is, as we kept lowering the stop down through the night, it actually just reached its T2 target automatically. The trade was good for 141 points. It was a really smooth, easygoing trade based on very good fundamentals and a proper risk management technique of just making sure that you weren't trailing your stops too close, just letting the price action take you right into profits. The second trade we did was kind of very interesting because this was an Aussie yen trade back when I came back to the States. Let me just pull you up. And what made this so kind of perilous in some ways was, let me pull you back to, this is Thursday night. Right? We're basically going long Aussie yen, like right around here. And what's interesting about this trade is what makes it so perilous is that, we were bullish Australian data going to the release, but right in front of us was the NFPs, and as you well know, we do not trade NFPs because it's just too volatile. We thought, however, that because Australian data was so early, we would be able to get into the trade and get out before the NFPs really came through. Alas, what happened was, and this happens all the time when you trade, you simply just don't get very good prices. We basically bought the top of the New York session right over here, and the pair then retraced down on us into the start of Asia. So when the news came out, and the news was relatively good, it simply wasn't enough of a push to make money for us, and we basically just never could make T1. So I had to hang in the trade all throughout the night. But this is what's kind of very interesting, and I think this is what's fascinating about managing risk properly. Before the NFPs came out, I called Kay and I said, we need to take 1 unit off the table, regardless of whether we're right or wrong, regardless of whether this is going to work for us. And by the way, I actually had a premonition that the NFPs were going to be much better, and given the fact the NFPs were better, it was going to be positive for the carry trades, probably positive for the Aussie yen. But if you notice, what we did is, contrary to what we always do, we took the first half at like I think 74, just plus 15 on the trade. It really wasn't about banking profits, it was about reducing risk. This way we came into the NFPs with 1 unit. And fortunately, NFPs went our way, and we were able to make 115 points on a trade before the day was over, and it was a great trade. But I think the most important lesson to take away from this week wasn't the fact that we made money, but that we made sure that if we were going to be in a position, we were going to minimize our risk. We made sure that we weren't going to lose a lot of money if we were wrong. I think that's the key point that everybody kind of may have forgotten in the euphoria of making so much money this week. Anyways, this is Boris Schlossberg from BKT. It's great to be back. Next week, more trades, more ideas. Over and out. Talk to you soon. Join us at BK Trader FX for all the trade ideas and the event risk calendar if you want to become a member.